So from now on, guys, I'll be picking one lucky individual in my comments every single time, and in my next videos I will be shouting out that person. And it doesn't matter, guys, if I already shouted you out, I will shout you out again if I pick you. And it's just cool opportunity for helping each other out, and of course getting closer together. So make sure you guys don't miss this opportunity. Please comment some positive and cool stuff down below, and on my every video from now on, and I will be picking every time somebody new, and we will keep shouting people out so everyone has a bigger chance of growing their channels and all the great stuff. So guys, in today's video I want to do an easy care guide about my Flowerhorn and my personal experience, and we will feed my Flowerhorn, of course, and do some slow motion shots for you guys to enjoy. So let's go ahead to my fish room and we'll get right into it. So guys, I want to start by talking about my beautiful Flowerhorn. In my case, it's a red line Flowerhorn, and I love this guy so much. And I want to start off by talking about his temperament. These guys are super aggressive fish, and they tend to always attack anything that comes near them or near their territory, but it does not mean that they cannot be kept in a with other bigger fish. And the reason for that, I will get to this in the end of this video. So if you guys want to know with what fish these massive Flowerhorns can be kept with, please stay tuned till the end. Also, I want to move on and talk about something that's very important about these fish. They're man-made fish, and that means they don't have a natural habitat in the wild, and people started to release these guys into the wild, and they became an invasive species since they compete with the other fish in their natural habitats for food and all the other stuff. So please guys, do not release them, and because they're not meant to live in a natural habitat, because they never came out of there. Another point that I want to mention is that short-bodied Flowerhorns can get anywhere from 4 to 6 inches, and in my case, my Flowerhorn is a longer bodied Flowerhorn, and he can get anywhere from 12 inches to 16 inches, and this means that they need a big home to survive. And speaking of big home, in my case this guy lives in a 55 gallon, which is temporary home. I want to mention this because it's a temporary home for him at the moment, and I wouldn't recommend keeping a Flowerhorn for the rest of its life in a 55 gallon aquarium, even though you would think it's a big enough aquarium for one fish, but he still needs a lot of room, and he makes a lot of mass. So the bigger the aquarium and the bigger the filtration always is the best for him to make him happy and healthy. And I would suggest having anything 75 gallons and up, especially if you guys want to keep him with somebody else, which I'll be talking about a little bit later. But I wouldn't recommend keeping these fish with anyone besides female Flowerhorns, and it's only for breeding purposes. And if you plan to keep them together, you guys should have a divider in the aquarium just for safety of both fish. Speaking of the mass these massive fish make, I just want to show you a disgusting part about Flowerhorns. In my case, I changed water yesterday. I cleaned all of this out, and look what's going on. There's so much poop already, and that's the reason why you want to keep a bare bottom tank for these big guys, because they produce a lot of waste. And even a filter like mine, in this case 75 gallon rated filter for that's running on a 55-gallon aquarium is not enough to keep this aquarium out of this kind of stuff. And another thing that I will upgrade for sure, I'll put a circulation pump over here so it can blow all of this waste, and the waste has a better chance to get sucked up into filtration. But I would recommend myself a canister filter for this guy, because he produces so much waste. And also you need to be always on a par with water changes. I do my water changes once a week, even though it's a 55-gallon aquarium. I do water changes once a week, and I take away about a good 10 gallons of water out of this 55. And as you see, it's not even full 55 because I keep it so short so the Flowerhorn doesn't jump out, because these guys tend to jump out a lot. And if you have the water level up till the top, they can jump out and even pop off your lid. These guys like their water to be extremely warm, anywhere from 80 to 82 Fahrenheit, and sometimes even above 82 Fahrenheit. But I keep my Flowerhorn at 82 Fahrenheit, and he's very happy. He's always swimming around, always active, exploring his surroundings, and always coming to greet me. So this means that he's happy and healthy. And even if you see his line, the line that black stripe that goes along his body, this means that he's not stressed out, because you can see all the colors popping out. So it means he has a good home for now. And this part of his body above his head is called cock, K-O-K. That's how it's spelled. And this is pretty much a storage for fat. So these guys store all their fat in their stomachs over here on the side, and in their cock. The bigger the cock, pretty much, the more expensive the Flowerhorn is, and he's more appealable for fish breeders, and it means he has good genes as well. And you want to feed him lots of protein. Protein is very important in their diet. They need a highly protein food, and I will get to it in a sec, and I'll show you what food I feed especially my guy. And I'm telling you, he eats a lot. In my case, I feed him cichlid food, large flakes. He likes it so much. And cichlid flakes are different from regular tropical flakes because they're more protein rich, and that's what cichlids need. I also feed him these bug bites, cichlid formula as well. He loves these medium-sized pellets, and as you see, even on the packaging, it says high protein diet with harvested insects, natural, palatable, all this great stuff. And I feed him these freeze-dried crickets. That's another high protein food source. And also all the great stuff like bloodworms, frozen bloodworms, brine shrimp frozen. And I noticed that lots of people are saying that, oh, Flowerhorns, you can feed them live food. But myself, I would never recommend this, guys, because live food comes with so many problems, with so many parasites. And Flowerhorns have no problem in eating freeze-dried foods and this kind of stuff as well. And as long as you vary the diet, you can also add mealworms. Mealworms they like a lot. And if you vary the diet and you feed them twice a day, I usually feed them four pellets of these, one or half of a cricket, and then I switch it up with some flake food in the evening. So he has a lot of good food, and as you see, he's doing very phenomenal with the diet I provide to him. Also, they need to have a 6 to 8 pH, and they can tolerate very high flow, moderate to high flow, I'd say. So they're a very strong fish, guys, and they can easily tolerate higher flows. And if you can provide that for them, they're not going to be stressed out. If you see your Flowerhorn being blown around your aquarium, then for sure that's too much for him. But if the flow is moderate to high and you can see he's doing phenomenal, he likes to swim around, then it should be perfectly fine. So who can you actually keep with Flowerhorns? Well, this question varies also on your specific Flowerhorn, how aggressive he is, and how big is your aquarium. If you have an aquarium that's 125 gallons and up, I would recommend that you can try keeping tiger Oscars with these guys, large Baisher, You can also keep common placos, but of course not a very small guy. If the common placo is already more than 10 inches in length, then easily he can stay with Flowerhorns. Other larger cichlids, but you should always avoid any fish that is smaller than 10 inches. And if you guys are curious to see, in my case, I try to home a blood parrot with my Flowerhorn. I will leave a link in the description down below for that video if you guys want to check it out, just out of curiosity. And this is pretty much the end of this care guide. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any questions whatsoever, please make sure you guys leave a comment down below, and I will get to you guys with all the answers that are needed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I forgot to mention, Flowerhorns are like puppy dogs. So if you guys ever owned a puppy, this is a puppy of fish. He will always come and greet you. He will always be your best friend, and he will always be fun to feed, in our case, not walk outside because we can unfortunately take our Flowerhorns. But just imagine if we could take our Flowerhorns for a walk. Look how many people would be amazed by him, because the Flowerhorns are so beautiful, and I think if you have an opportunity, why not to go for a Flowerhorn? It's a very fun fish to keep, and if you're a true hobbyist, you should keep one day. And thanks again for watching. Please guys, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next videos.